The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
So we can regain our personal freedoms, our rights, and our health.
That's right. And it's a beautiful morning downtown Clearwater here in Florida, 66 degrees, going up into the 80s for the next 10 days or so.
Nice.
So if you're a snowbird and it's cold up there, Clearwater is the place to be, I think.
That's right. And if you have any questions, make sure you can, you can reach either one of us. Me at Paige at TFNN.com.
And Nico at TFNN.com. And we are taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. You sent me this link to...
That's because we're going to get in the weeds today.
Oh, we are getting into the weeds. Yes, that's right. In fact, I should put
Not that weed. We're getting into the weeds that might just be right in your backyard. It's not a weed. If it's unrecognized health-boosting wonder plant, according to davidwolf.com.
Purslane, which most people take for a common weed, is actually a health-boosting food that many people grow for consumption.
Didn't realize that myself.
Purslane is a beautiful plant with yellow flowers, originates from India and Persia, but since it has spread all over the world.
Yeah, many of us call them the 4 o'clocks.
Oh, really?
It's a flower. It's like a little... It kind of spries out, and then it has little flowers. They tend to bloom in the afternoon as opposed to earlier. I thought that was kind of interesting. But, I really didn't realize this, and Nico, you and I have shared this with our listeners before, that there are many, many wonderful foods that are right in our backyard, and it's funny, it's kind of like the truth is stranger than fiction. We spend this money spraying toxic chemicals to have, say, the Florida lawn.
Right.
And all that grass and vegetation is not sustainable. It's not usable as food. And many of the so-called weeds are actually quite healthy and could be very important to us as a food source.
Yeah, so when I got this and I read it, I thought, oh, well, we know dandelions are good and stuff like that. But I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, so I went to Mother Jones and found an article called, Are Weeds Healthier Than Farmed Veggies?
They might just be the next superfood.
Well, I always think that wild things have a will to survive that found in domesticated plants not so much, because we're actually making everything right for them. So then they don't. My theory is, and I haven't read this full article, but we will. My theory is that these plants that are babied aren't having those nutrients in there because they don't really need them. We're kind of taking over that job. Is that kind of the thing?
It's true. I mean, this author talks kind of funny. It kind of looks like it's a little humorous article about when he moved to the mountains of North Carolina. He quickly got hooked on weeds, not plural. And, it's really, the weeds are seasonal. And we share with our listeners that living a primal lifestyle is about paying attention to what's going on seasonally.
Yeah.
And that's how the innate nature has its innate wisdom to provide us what we need when we need it.
Yeah. Well, these weeds are here for a reason, that's for sure, because, the seeds are tossed into the air and they're floating, and all of a sudden they land somewhere. And now that seed, it starts to sprout with some moisture and the sun. And so it's fighting for its life among whatever is there.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we do in jiu-jitsu, I think. We get there, we get on the mat, and whoever's there in front of you, and then you kind of spar and roll around and see who's the winner. And then you can try kind of improve. And so that's what I'm thinking plants do. So if you're domesticating plants, and I guess we could take this to animals too, then you're kind of babying them along, thinking that it's healthy. We do this with our children, of course. We protect them and baby them. But there are occasions where we want them, let them go out on their own. Like when my dad threw me in the ocean when I was 6 years old and said swim. And I was grabbing air. but I learned to swim. And always challenges like that for me were growth periods where I had to survive,
adapt and survive, and as a result become healthier. I like the way he explained the seasonality. Let me get back to that. Chickweed pops up soon after the ground thaws in spring. It gives us a vibrant, grassy-tasting salad weeks before the first cultivated grasses became. And then not long after that, you get the peppery watercress. And watercress is super healthy for us.
Very, very high in vitamin C.
And that's sprouted in the marshy banks of creeks. You think about that root pack. It's really a real delicacy and one prized by chefs all over the world. But by midsummer, the favorite weeds of all emerge, which from plowing the fields, a high-rising spinach-related green called lamb's quarters, and a low-slung creeping plant called purslane with its succulent lemony leaves. And I thought about that with that purslane. It has these little, almost like they look like you could pop them and there's liquid to pop out. Almost like a aloe or something. They'd be cute to just pull off the plant and put in your salad.
Yeah, we really don't pay enough attention to this because when we see a weed, we get out the spray or we just get it out of there. And we don't really think and look at it as a food. According to the author, Joe Robinson's recent book, Eating on the Wild Side, the same wild edible plants that we call weeds tend to be loaded with phytonutrients, the arsenal of chemicals. The plants synthesized to fend off insects, disease, damaging ultraviolet light, inclement weather, and browsing animals. Phytochemicals, phyto in Greek means plant, and they are essential to the plant kingdom's survival strategy, a passive-aggressive tool for living creatures that can't flee predators, disease, or bad weather.
Bingo, that is right on. And as you know, I use the high phytochemical smoothie blending recipes for food healing.
Right.
And that is exactly right. Phytochemicals are the immune system, and what also falls into the area of phytochemicals are essential oils.
Yes.
So phytochemicals, essential oils are the immune system of the plant. And how does like a cactus in the Sonora Desert, sustain a temperature of, say, below 0, and then the next day it's up to 120? Well, it needs an immune system. It needs an adaptability. Right. So we should pay attention to how these plants are adapting, and maybe we can learn from them and also use some of their wonderful phytochemicals.
Recent studies suggest that eating phytonutrients helps humans fend off 4 of what Robinson calls our modern scourges: cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and dementia. He says the problem is that foods that contain more of them tend to be bitter, not sweet. And according to Robinson's, humanity's 10-year agricultural adventures has all about breeding away the bitterness, selecting for sweetness, starchiness, and fat. And thus the kind of millennia-long war against the very nutrients that made early humans healthy and vibrant is now pretty much gone by the wayside.
And that's exactly right. You and I share that all the time, and it goes back to that ancient wisdom we find in Ayurvedic science, the taste, the palates.
That's right.
Right? Having the sour, the bitter, the sweet, the salty, the hot and spicy.
It says here, the more palatable our fruits and vegetables become, the less advantageous they are for our health. And that's what we talk about here on our show, Health. We got another segment coming up. Please pick up some Primal Edge. Pick up our newsletter. I have a new one coming out next week. And these are there for your health and also for your learning ability.
Yes, so we put the links in there so you don't have to. So you can live longer, stronger, healthier, and therefore wealthier.
And trading is the idea. Trading information. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke, and I'm with Nico to Haan. And you know, Nico, I like hanging out in the weeds with you. We've been talking about the fact that our healthiest foods may very well be the weeds that are around you. Let's take a look at what are the 5 healthiest backyard weeds, Nico?
Let's see. What it says right here, dandelion is the number 1.
You know, dandelion is just prolific everywhere, and if we only knew the health benefits, our livers love the dandelion. And it's versatile all over the planet. It's loaded with vitamins A, C, and K.
Now, what do you eat? What part do you eat?
You eat the leaves. Go back up to that picture you had on the telestrator first. So, you know, many people probably recognize the dandelion.
Well, this is broadleaf plantain here.
It is? Okay, well, that actually, it looks like, I'm sorry, well, it looks very similar.
Yeah, it
dandelion,
does,
the plant does, yeah. And, you know, we've also talked about the fact that the dandelion can be harvested in your yard and added to your salad greens. And it has that bitter flavor that provides that, that one of the 5 taste points that we know is critical for health. So it really encourages healthy bile secretion. Yeah. And as I've talked to you about, bile is what emulsifies our fats in our foods so we can absorb them.
Another thing is, too, if you're going to be picking weeds from your lawn, you're probably less apt to start spraying them and, you know, using those types of fertilizers that are not really good for, you know, our planet. So I think...
And that brings up the whole idea of why do we have weeds? It's just like in our body. Why do we have disease? Because as Claude Bernard said, or Bouchon said, it's the environment, it's the soil. So if we nurture the soil, we don't have weeds. So,
well, the other problem is, of course, that we want our lawns to look in a certain way. This is kind of dictated.
We care how it looks, not how it smells.
Yeah, and we care that it looks all the same as everybody else's in a sense, you know, which is kind of weird in a way. Because
all right, so number 2 is purslane. Which we had talked about earlier. Yeah, and I thought I was pretty up to date on those weeds, but I really think that's interesting to, if you see a purslane, go to your nursery and ask for 4 o'clocks or purslane. That could be a nice little addition to making your salad exciting. Lamb's quarters, folks, are like spinach, except they're healthier and they're tastier and they're easier to grow. Wouldn't that be interesting to see? Someone says, "Oh, come out, let me show you my weed garden."
Well, certainly here in Florida, we've got more growing seasons than perhaps up north in that. But, I don't know if anybody's trying to cultivate weeds. But I think it's a good idea.
Well, that's what we're saying.
Yeah, and our front yard is, we kind of make it look like our neighbors because that's what people like. But our backyard, we kind of let it grow. We certainly mow it and stuff like that, but my idea is to later on, of course, make a big garden out of it when I have time to do stuff like that. The plantain is next on here.
Yeah, the plantain, we talked about that last week. If you remember, it's like the dandelion. It's healthy and it's a hardy weed, as ubiquitous in the city as broken glass. So remember, I think we had an article where we were talking about the fact that the Indians called the plantain the white man's. Remember, he said it showed up wherever the concrete was?
Oh, yeah,
Remember?
because it grew in cracks and it grows in the disturbed soil and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it tends to grow in places where it's been disturbed. But it's similar to dandelion.
And then they have stinging nettles.
Stinging nettles, folks. Stinging nettles is, in our herbalist world, is a very powerful plant. Kind of helps to remind the hormones to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, stinging nettles. And
tastes like spinach.
And the last time I was in Austria, I was taking a walk, and Will's mom, Mitzi, said, "Hey, go walk over there. Go, here she is. Seriously, go walk in that little meadow over there." And she got a little giggle as I got the sting on my legs. The stinging nettle creates a little sting on your legs, so.
Yeah. I think what's a real good idea, especially if you're into preparing for the future and maybe the weather changes that may be coming, a good idea to pick up some books on native plants of your area. So when we do have problems with food, it would be a good idea to go out and start picking some of these things on your own. They don't cost any money. It just takes the amount of energy it takes to go and find them, and of course your knowledge.
And folks, living primal is about being prepared. It's not about scare tactics. It's about smart tactics.
Yeah.
And it's about understanding things that we can do to be self-sufficient, take responsibility for our health by making good choices.
I think so.
Let's go ahead, while we're talking about minerals and what we might get from weeds, let's talk about the top 10 benefits of magnesium, and then we can go on to something else, because I think these kind of go along with.
Right.
One of the healthy nutrients that we find in our green vegetables are some of the large and small trace minerals, including magnesium. And I really like to share points that people can take away. It's an incredible mineral, Nico, with a very long list of benefits to the human body. I would suffice to say that if you end up in the emergency room, there's only a couple things that you end up with. You end up with salt, saline infusion, and you end up with some magnesium first thing in the door, wouldn't you say?
That's what's in that little bag.
Emergency medicine.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are over 700 essential functions that happen in your body that require magnesium as a cofactor.
Yeah, and magnesium works with other metals too, right?
Yeah, well, magnesium kind of goes in a ratio with calcium. Magnesium, calcium, kind of, typically we say a 2-to-1, but because people are taking, I have to kind of coach and educate clients that, some of the calciums would be better left untaken, because we weren't really designed to eat rocks. We were designed to eat plants that grow in the soil with the rocks. Thus, you understand why we created the Primal Edge, folks.
Yeah, because of the soil.
Because of the soil.
Base,
yeah, and the soil and the primordial plants.
But, I know that magnesium is good for sleep.
Yes.
It helps you sleep, but I didn't know that it helps you dream.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a natural sleep aid, and it really helps us to get into those deeper states where we can have those more productive dreams. And some people feel like when you're more mineralized, your dreams are more colorful.
Yeah. My dad told me a little trick when I was young. He says, if you want to remember your dreams, he says, before you go to sleep, tell yourself to remember the dream, the last dream that you dream. And it's strange because when you're in that dream state, it seems like that dream goes on and on and on, and science tells us that it's a matter of seconds. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And so it's a natural sleep aid.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you dream, and it's an energy booster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're mineralized, it plays a major role in breaking down glucose down into energy, folks. So when you get low in magnesium, this process of energy conversion slows down tremendously, and your heart rate and your oxygen intake increases, and your whole body has to work a lot harder.
So that makes sense why they put it into emergency type of containers. And,
it's critical for yin yang, calcium tells the heart to contract, to constrict.
Okay.
Magnesium tells the heart to relax.
Oh, and flow. Okay.
See?
Now, this
Constrict,
also,
relax.
so when we're taking calcium, magnesium, now the other thing that enters in there would be the vitamin D3.
Oh, that's
which
very
works in
important
the combination too. So you see, folks, how things work in real combinations.
It's a symphony.
Yeah.
It's a symphony and a synchronicity.
You really have a talented person to let you know what to put with what. That's why we created the Primal Edge, so you don't have to do that. It's all in there in the types of quantities that you need.
And of course, we worked with brilliant biochemists. You know, it wasn't just you and I thinking it up.
No.
We worked as a team
we went to
with
the
them.
experts. It also soothes muscle aches and helps with joint pain. So this is huge.
Moisturizes the skin and it supports healthy blood pressure. Show me someone that's having struggle with their blood pressure. I'll show you someone who's magnesium deficient.
So because of all this, it also relieves stress naturally.
Absolutely.
And it accelerates your brain pressure. So how do you know if you're getting enough calcium? Well, we can discuss that.
Or you mean magnesium?
Or magnesium.
Both of them. They're both important. We'll be back after the break.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. We're continuing our talk about magnesium, and magnesium is essential for so many key functions. So how do we ensure that your body gets enough of this?
Hey, before we go there, I just see in the chat room, a person commented, I personally wouldn't be without the Primal Edge, and the question was, is there magnesium in the Primal Edge? Yes, there is. We have ionic magnesium from different sources, and we also increase it much higher absorbability than you'll find in most supplements. So I just wanted to share that point with the trace minerals.
Yeah,
too.
most of them is a 2-to-1 ratio, where there's more calcium, two calciums to 1 magnesium. You made a decision to add the extra
1-to-1 extra. No, I wanted extra magnesium.
Magnesium. Yes,
I wanted extra magnesium because I've been following the research presented in Green Med Info that indicates that what we really have is a lot of people getting sources of calcium that are not ideal for the body, more like calcium carbonates, rock. They're going to Sam's Club and they're buying these rock-based calcium pills, and we're seeing an increase in, we don't want calcium in our arteries, folks. And this is a quiz, if anyone in the chat room can answer it. What is the nutritional food or supplement that we recommend that helps make sure the calcium stays out of the arteries and in the bones where it should be? We don't want calcium hardening things in the arteries, right?
Right.
And so we'll answer that after we go into the segment.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to mention, of course, because of domestication, our plants are stripped of a lot of the nutrients, and because of acid rain, because of the lack of crop rotation in the wild.
As we speak, yeah.
In the wild, the crops rotate on a normal basis, on a continuous basis. They're never in big circles or big squares of just one thing. They're mixed with other things. And there's little or there's no land that actually just sits dormant in the wild world. That's why we have fires. That's why the weeds come in, the small grasses come in. This land kind of sits dormant for a while till everything just starts growing
When
again.
you explain that, Nico, is so perfect. Nature knows how to do it.
It does know how to do it, and it's a beautiful way of doing it. And we always want to manicure things. This is so to clean them
Like
up
the
in
lawn.
our Puritan type of style. We're always cleaning the kids, cleaning everything. And clean is good, but also dirt is very important if it's healthy dirt. So
Here, when they're talking about magnesium, exactly how we've talked about and educated you all on other shows, if you have a bank account and you have $90 in there, and you take out all 90 and you only put $3 back in, you're going to be out of business pretty soon. And that's what we do with our soil. There's 90 essential nutrients. When we farm things, we only add back the 3. Those are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in synthetic fertilizers. That's no magnesium, folks. We're not adding back the essential, and magnesium is just one of, many, many minerals that we need. Another 80 plus.
And farming just stresses the soil out, so it's just not a good thing.
Okay, so the answer to that quiz was, I didn't get any takers on that, but I'm sure if some people were up. The answer is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is the fat-soluble vitamin that helps calcium stay where it's supposed to.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have another article here, which was actually from Time Magazine. This is interesting. It has 3, if you have the telestrator here, from 1961. We're talking about the heart disease.
Yeah, there's Ansel Keys announcing where he was kind of funded to kind of create that skewed research that indicated that cholesterol in itself was the cause of heart disease.
Right.
And now we know that that has been proven not
Then we
correct.
go to 1984, and we talk about the demonization of cholesterol.
And of the poor egg. Look at the sad egg.
Yeah, don't eat that yellow egg. What they say, just eat the white stuff, in truth is really hard to digest.
Right, it's really the the avidin, I believe it's called, is the protein in the egg white, which creates a lot of havoc
And
for a
then
lot
they
of
show
people.
only one piece of bacon here, which is a tragedy. You want 2 or more. I always like 4.
And finally, 2014, the cholesterol has been vindicated. Eat butter. So, folks, what we really want you to know, if you're new to the concept that cholesterol is beneficial to your health and that saturated fat sources like butter, coconut oil, liver, and eggs should play a prominent role in the healthy traditional diet. I mean, if you're still in that point, we want to encourage you to do your research, because there's a lot of emerging research that shows it's not the cholesterol And as we've often shared, Nico and I have shared, is the fireman the cause of the fire? He's always there at the scene of the fire, but he's not the cause. And that's the same with cholesterol.
Yeah, it says here, make it clear, however, that this list is talking about cholesterol in the unprocessed state.
Correct.
Oxidized cholesterol that is found in processed food always should be avoided. It is this damaged cholesterol contributes to the buildup of plaque in the arteries.
Arterial sclerosis. We've got a caller.
Oh, we do.
Hey there. You're on the line.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
What's up? Paige, Nico. How's it going?
Good morning, Tom from Tampa.
Great, man. It's a beautiful day out here, isn't it? You got to love this weather.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
Tremendous.
Hey, I wanted to kick something by you guys. I was reading about this Russian trainer. Every morning he would eat 6 eggs, a cup of broccoli cooked in coconut oil.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, he's not putting the meats in there, the sausage or anything, but I mean, eggs are pretty much something you can pretty much eat all you want, I guess, right?
Well, the thing is the if you're getting, what you're talking about is pastured eggs.
Right.
Then you're talking about a really good source of fat and also a really good source of the protein.
And great source of choline, which we're finding is one of the minerals used in neurotransmitters and keeping us healthy. So, we look for the color, Tom, and you're exactly right. Provided you've got good digestion, the best diet for you or the best food you can eat is the food you can digest, absorb, disinfect, and assimilate. And eggs are a nutritional powerhouse. And it was interesting because Nico just shared a very important point. Remember what he just was saying right before you called? He said it's not cholesterol, although it's oxidized cholesterol that causes a problem. And oxidation is rusting. Oxidation, we then need what? Antioxidants. And by having broccoli, what are you providing your body? Antioxidants. So, by providing a antioxidant-rich vegetable along with the cholesterol-rich egg, you're ensuring that you're providing the antioxidants that protect it from turning bad in any way. Yep. And you also want to make sure that you cook the white because it's most digestible that way, but you'd like to keep your yolk as uncooked as you can.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And another thing is, of course, if you're the average American, you don't probably want to eat 6 eggs, maybe 2 or 3, maybe just 2, maybe just 1. So if you're an athlete and you're training for something and you need the extra fat as fuel and you need the extra protein to build muscle, that's why they're using that.
Right. I think a lot of people, who's reading it, sometimes we get so busy, we fly right through lunch. It's like 3, 4 in the afternoon, and you're not even hungry, like you've said. I've heard you say that a few times, Nico.
Yeah.
Always.
Because those fats, and it's just like, why? I mean,
That's
this
the
can't
fuel.
be right, but it is.
Yeah, if you got a full tank, you really don't need to stop and refill it.
And I want to make the comment that it's not just the fats, it's the phytochemicals that we talked about today. When you're getting nutrient-dense foods, whether it be healthy fats, whether it be super phytochemicals, high in all these really powerful compounds, you are being healthy. I love it when you call, Tom.
Yeah, and I love the Primal Edge. It just gives me tremendous energy. It's just great stuff.
Thanks so much, Tom.
We
really
appreciate your
the call.
feedback, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Okay,
We're
Thanks,
going for
Tom.
a break now, and we'll be back. Give us a call today. Let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah, and I really want to talk about these 9 benefits of cholesterol in the diet.
We'll come back and hit that. I think it's
Okay.
perfect.
Good.
See you after the
We'll
break.
be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle with Paige and Nico here, folks. We've been talking about the benefits of cholesterol in the diet. Maybe cholesterol is very similar to the fireman, and it's at the scene, but it's not the guilty party. So let's kind of go through some of these benefits, Nico.
Yeah, and the reason I really think this is important, Paige, because we've been demonizing cholesterol for the last 50 years, and so this is something that's really missing from people, and I really want to get across to our listeners that these 9 points that we're going to go over is what's missing if you're on that low-fat diet.
Correct, and what we're seeing is that many of the health conditions that are becoming epidemic today are a result of not having the necessary cholesterol, because cholesterol is the raw material for crucial hormones for youth and longevity, and also for neurotransmitter health. So I want you to be aware of this as we go through these and think of this as a necessary nutrient, quite frankly. Number one, cholesterol is vital for balancing the hormones and the manufacture of those that deal with stress of everyday living. These hormones are also protective against heart disease and cancer.
That's huge, for sure. Number two, cholesterol is needed by the body to make all the sex hormones. Are you listening, folks? Including androgen, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and DHEA.
Yeah, the DHA is often thought to be the yardstick of your longevity, and progesterone, the stress sex hormone. Cholesterol is necessary for the body to properly use vitamin D. And those of you who have been listening for a while know that I've cited MIT researcher Stephanie Senoff's work, that she explains that perhaps we're not deficient in vitamin D, we're deficient in cholesterol sulfate, which is made the combination of the sun and vitamin D. So, folks,
maybe we're deficient in both. Because we're hiding from the sun. We're in buildings all the time. We have artificial light all the time. So, all these are critical for body functions that include the bones, the nerves, the proper growth, mineral metabolism, muscle tone, insulin production, fertility, and the strong immunity.
Exactly. So number four, bile salts made by the liver. We just talked about that. Maybe you should have some eggs with dandelion from the weeds in your garden. Bile salts made by the liver require cholesterol. Bile is critical to the digestion and absorption of dietary fats.
Yeah, so if you're not digesting the food, then you're not getting the nutrients from the food. You always talk about that we have to be eating the foods that we can digest.
And bile is bitter. Bitter is bile.
Okay.
And dandelion is a bitter herb.
Okay.
And the bile, if you think of it, a lot of people think, like when you do have acid ingestion, that bitter taste, that is your bile. We want to keep that bile real fluid. We don't want it to be beef jerky bile. We want it to be fluid. We think of bile as an emulsifier, like adding soap to a greasy dish.
Okay.
The soap is what the bile does. The bile takes and emulsifies that fat so your body can use it.
Yeah. So cholesterol functions as a powerful antioxidant in the body and is protective of free radical damage to the tissues.
We should read that again. Cholesterol is a powerful antioxidant in the body, and it is protective of free radicals.
So how can we be telling the people from a government standpoint or these large companies saying, don't make sure your cholesterol is low, but get your anti-nutrients?
I'm telling you, truth is stranger than fiction, don't you think?
Not get your anti-nutrients, get your nutrients, I
Right.
should say. Yeah.
Number 6, cholesterol is vital for the proper functioning of the brain. We discussed that earlier. Important for the synapse formation. This is how we have seen some famous people reverse their Alzheimer's by introducing healthy fats.
Yeah, like the lady who used coconut oil with her husband.
Yeah, she was a medical doctor. Go figure.
Cholesterol is used by serotonin receptors. Serotonin is the body's natural feel-good chemical.
Yes, neurotransmitters, you're right there. And number 7, breast milk is the ideal rich cholesterol food, and it's the most important food that we get when we're coming to this world. In the breast milk, there's a special enzyme that helps the babies utilize it. Babies and children need cholesterol so that they can properly grow. Can you believe that we've got some of these young mothers that are putting their children on skim milk?
Yeah.
I just wish I
even
could run
worse, soy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
in baby foods, soy is a huge thing.
not a toy for the girl or the boy.
Yeah, and breast milk is so natural. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't breastfeed your children. There may be some medical problems that have that, but then it's a good idea to find a surrogate, and this is what we used to do in the old days.
Yeah, I'm seeing a link right here. Speaking of that, I made that little hint. You and I have talked extensively about the dangers of skim milk, the danger of that high heat, the fat is exploited.
And pasteurized milk, of course, too.
Well,
Yeah.
first you got the dead enzymes, so
Right.
you don't have the lactose. Of course, people are lactose intolerant because pasteurization kills the enzymes that allow us to digest milk. That's why if you're going to choose milk, when I choose to drink milk products, I choose raw. Because that comes packaged from the creator in nature. With the sources to digest it. Number 9, cholesterol. Number 8, cholesterol is necessary for the proper functioning of the intestines and helping us to maintain the integrity of the gut wall.
Yeah, low cholesterol diets can lead to leaky gut syndrome and other digestive problems.
That's the hottest buzzword on the internet right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Healing the gut.
Yeah.
And finally, number 9, cholesterol is critical to repair damaged cells. The statistics have shown that the older you are, the higher your cholesterol is, the longer you live. I'll say it again. The older you are, the higher your cholesterol level, the longer you live. Now, then we have to apply that common sense. If you have oxidized cholesterol, are we talking about, is that healthy? No. No. So we have to make sure that our cholesterol in our body and the cholesterol that we consume is not oxidized. And oxidation is fought by free radicals, and we get free radical protection through eating healthy, live, enzyme-rich, phytonutrient-rich whole foods.
And this is why cholesterol levels naturally rise as we age and are beneficial to the elderly. Women with the highest cholesterol actually live the longest.
Yeah, I just made that comment. See?
Yeah. So-
It's actually, I believe it's unisex, but this was a particular study done out at New York University Center. Women, I'm going to say that again, women with the highest cholesterol actually live the longest. There's a famous cardiologist named Dr. Stephen Sinatra, and he wrote the book, The Cholesterol Myth, with Dr. Johnny Bowden, who's
Yep.
And what he does is when women come to see him in his practice, if they are already on a statin or a cholesterol-lowering drug, he takes them off. Because, first of all, they've never proven to extend life in any healthy male or female, but particularly not for women. So I think
the only thing they've proven
repeating.
is that it lowers your cholesterol, which is not good, as we're finding out here. Dr. Meyer Texton, MD, a respected pathologist practicing at the New York University Medical Center, observes that accusing saturated fat and cholesterol for hardening of the articles is like accusing white blood cells for causing infection rather than helping the immune system address it.
That's a great analogy of what I just said.
Yes,
it's like accusing the firemen
for being
for,
at the fire.
for the fire when they're always present at the scene, but they're not the guilty party.
Yeah.
So, folks, seek out information. Learn how to keep the cholesterol as a natural occurring substance, nutrient that our bodies need to stay healthy and thrive. Make sure you know how to keep the cholesterol in your body healthy. When there's low inflammation in the body, the cholesterol levels reach a level that's healthy. And it's not about being low, it's about being healthy. And, healthy level. It's not that there's a magic low number. It's about making sure that the cholesterol you have is buoyant and fluffy, not tight and small.
And there's a test for that.
There's a test for that, but there's a food for that. There's a lot of things we can do to help keep ourselves healthy.
One way is actually listening to our show.
That's right, and subscribing to our newsletter and taking our Primal Edge to make sure you're getting what you may or may not be getting in your busy lifestyle. We've got to take a break, but we'll be right back.
Thanks, folks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
And welcome back. Thanks for rising and shining with us. You know, Nico, I love the way you are keeping us up to date on what's going on with solar activity. I find it fascinating, and I know you're very connected with Ben Davidson at Suspicious Observers. I saw this article that we put into our feed. Sounds like scientists are using shipwrecks and tree rings to study hurricane activity, and they find that they reveal Caribbean hurricanes during the Buccaneer era. In fact, they're saying that they're the first to use shipwrecks to study hurricanes in the past.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I'm always fascinated with the sun and the minimums and things like that. The modern minimum is so named because there was a low in sunspot activity during that time, because the Earth receives less solar radiation during the lull of these sunspots eras. The northern hemisphere was cooler during the modern minimum, and in times like that, before and after, it was warmer.
So for those of us that aren't as scientific about this, when we're in a solar minimum, the sun is more quiet.
Yes.
So as a result, there's not as many flares.
Right.
So we then are going to perhaps experience more global cooling.
What happens is the flares are the things that energize our atmosphere to protect us from other things that happen in space, like coronal holes and things like that. Direct connection between the sun and the Earth. And when things happen to the sun, we see the results on the Earth. Much the same, like the coronal holes are really types of hurricanes, those little spirals that go on. And we're finding, of course, in the last few years, we're finding less hurricanes in the Atlantic, much more in the Pacific. So they're correlating this too. And these scientists found there was kind of a hole because they were using the rings of the trees. But it was kind of incomplete, so they started looking at shipwrecks from the period of 1645 to 715, and it had fewer shipwrecks, hence it had fewer hurricanes that were also in the logs of those ships that did survive, and of course maybe the ones they found too.
Isn't that interesting how they're tying how nature and evidence of what was going on, and that's fascinating that they're
Well,
using
it's fascinating because we're into a minimum.
Yes, so we're in another period, just like these,
and the minimums
Buccaneers were.
There's like an 11-year cycle of a maximum and then 11 years for a minimum, but then we have these grand minimums. This is over a 200 to 400 year period, and we're heading down into that minimum now. We've had less and less sunspot activity, and if you watch the Suspicious Observer, and I tag it, always share it on Facebook. So if you're on my Facebook page, you can always get that morning report of what's happening on the sun. And he, on his website, has a lot of interesting types of little films that you can go to that explain how to watch the sun, what's happening on the sun, and how does it affect Earth. And like I said, I'm fascinated with this stuff. And the study was kind of cool because it does determine that for the next maybe 20 to 30 years, we may have less and less hurricanes in the Atlantic. Huge for Florida, where we live.
Yeah. So wouldn't that be nice if property insurance rates didn't increase? Because maybe they should start watching this, you know, so they can we can say, hey, you know, are you listening to Ben Davidson on Suspicious Observers? Because he says we're not going to have hurricanes, so I'd like my rates decreased.
Well, less hurricanes. We may have some still. One of the other interesting talks that I was listening to was talking about the ridges that are along the tectonic plates on Earth, and how these are electrical zones where underground lightning is actually making the earthquakes, and this is the supposition that we're going to now. So all these things, all this movement is coming from the same types of things as the weather, same things as the sunspots, and you know, things that are happening on other planets are kind of the same types of activity, all having to do with electricity. And you know, it's pretty cool.
Because we live in an electric universe, folks. And you're an electric body, because as above, so below.
That's for sure. And John Logan is next with the Global Market Pulse, and he's taking your phone calls at 877-927-6448 next. So please listen to that.
And we'll see you on the next show, folks. Have a great day.
Yeah, pick up some Primal Edge and take a look at my newsletter while you're at it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his Opening Call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the Opening Call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.